Boom, baby. Welcome, Maté talk time, back in the office. Set myself up, boom, let's go. Last week I was in Adelaide, for those who may have missed that episode, running around Adelaide with Lee Logan. That was a lot of fun, actually. I spent a week in Adelaide. For those who, if you come to Australia, I know most people like to go to Sydney. Of course, you have to go to Sydney. You need to come to Melbourne, of course, but you got to do Adelaide. Adelaide is just a great, compact city, great food, everything's walkable. The parks, the museums, the art culture, the fringe festivals that they have there. Forget about it. It's a great place, really, really good place. And of course, I was with the very talented and charismatic Lee Logan, who's an awesome man. So anyway, if you haven't seen that video, check it out. That was a lot of fun. Now, also on Sunday, I did a video with Kevin. In Australia, we had recently, or Libertine, who's the biggest distributor of niche perfumery here in Australia, did a fragrance award. And they got people to vote in their favorite fragrances. I think they had over like 2,000 people who joined in the course in this particular event. And as a result, there were 9 categories, and as a result, the winners were announced last week. Now, Libertine were kind enough to attach a promo for the Niche Fragrance Collector, Grazie mille. And this is something that you guys can have a chance to win. All you got to do, use the code NFC10in10, buy anything off the Libertine website, and you'll have a chance to win the Discovery set, which is worth $89, with all those fragrances, those winning fragrances. So yeah, anyway, it's a good promo. They've opened up international shipping, so anyone across the world. The Aussie dollar is doing amazing things for you guys, for us, not so much. So yeah, so everything's in Aussie dollars. Have a look. There's a tab here. Actually, look, I'll do the. So you're going to get rid of me now, but here's the website. If you go across here is the outlet. This is a pro tip, by the way, and you get a chance now to take advantage of some of the sales that they have on some of the items that they are, putting heavily discounts on here, which is pretty awesome. It's a lot of fun, actually. Use the code so you can get this stuff. Use the code NFC10in10 and you'll have a chance to win. Now, there are 10 people who could win this. They'll do the raffle, and the promo Libertine will do the raffle, and the promo will go until next Sunday. I think it's the 24th or something like that. Here's the date. Boom. Now, in this episode with Kevin, we had 9 that we were sharing, and at the end of it, I said, "What are your recommendations?" So, what are some fragrances that you would include in this, this top 10 lineup of best fragrances of all times? And I got a great response, which is fantastic. So today what I wanted to do is I'm going to grab some of these. Some of these fragrances I don't have. So I firstly appreciate everybody who jumped in and shared their own vote. Some of the fragrances I do have, and this is what today's about. I've got 6 fragrances here that I would like to acknowledge that 100% yes, I would definitely put that in this category. And let me begin. Here we go. All right, so the first one, this is recommended by, actually, because I'm going to forget names, so I'll put, here it is, boom. So thank you for jumping in and sharing your view. Actually, before I begin, one thing that was pretty consistent is, why is everybody still voting for Aventus? Very cool. I know that Aventus does feel a little bit overdone, but I'm also thinking that it's one of those powerhouse fragrances. If you're new to, so like for me, for instance, brand new to niche, this is back in 2027, come into the whole scope of this, the field that you see in front of you. And I remember seeing Creed and going, wow. And I remember smelling Aventus and going, my brain just went, poof. So this was my gateway when it comes to all things Creed. The other thing too is that I'm sure you know this, Creed has been cloned to death, just about. I mean, there's so many clone of Creed, of Aventus, not Creed. So many clones of Aventus that clearly something is working here. Again, this was voted over 2,000 people, and they voted this as the best masculine. So it gives you an idea how much, I guess, presence that the Aventus has. For us seasoned people within the space, you know, that we have now got a vast collection. I'm going to say most people in that are here at Maté Talk are probably in the veterans onward. And so, yeah, for us, we may say, oh, Creed, I'm sorry, Aventus, it's been done to death. So, suggestion that was put forward is, if you do happen to have Aventus, or you want to try something a little bit different, then this was the recommendation, which is Bois du Portugal, also by Creed. But now we're looking at something that is more, I feel like Aventus is universal. Anybody can pick it up and instantly, like you've got a, like take me for instance, I had a vast designer collection. I picked up Aventus and instantly just fell in love with the beauty of that fragrance. Whereas something like this, you now need to be a little bit deeper in. I even made the bold claim, and I'd like to, anybody who wants to refute this, please do so. I made the very bold claim in this particular episode that you have to be 30 plus to actually own this fragrance. So if anyone who's under 30 plus, rocking Bois du Portugal, please put it in the comments, tell me why. And the reason why I felt this way is that there is a maturity to this fragrance. There is an instant seriousness in the moment that this opens in the air, and also as it works off your skin and what you're projecting to the world. I love that there is, if you look at the notes, there are those classic sort of structure, meaning that it has citruses and then the aromatic and then the woods. But for me, those citruses are like, they're almost non-existent. I know that there's bergamot, and I think there's lime and mandarin and blah, blah. For me, I get this super sharp, spicy, aromatic, confident, deal maker, strong style of fragrance that just produces itself. I do know that it has a lavender in the heart, and I really believe that lavender has been dialed up to 11. It has a very strong aromatic sort of edge to the actual fragrance itself. I'm here on the dry down. The dry down has this wonderful, it pulls itself back. It becomes a little bit more on that clean, soapy, woody, remains always as a spicy, aromatic, very confident fragrance. But on that opening, it designates its strength essentially. There's for those who are familiar with the cypress tree, if you've ever picked the cypress leaves, it's not really leaves, it's sort of, I don't know what they're called, but the cypress sort of the leaves, and you crush that. So we have a beautiful park around the corner. There's this cypress strip or avenue, and I always love, as we're walking, picking this and crushing it and smelling it as we're walking through this nature space. And it has this beautiful balance of like a slight sharp citrus, lemon style, plus it has a pine-like forest briskness to it, and then it does settle into this green, woody-like element to it. It's actually it's fun to see the different facets that come out of the cypress. I'm not saying cypress is in here, but what I'm saying is you do get those elements. So yes, it may have citrus in the openings, but I don't get a clean, crisp citrus note coming through. Instead, I get a very strong aromatic vibrancy and wood-like, forest-like element to the fragrance. I would have to agree. If you want a really good masculine fragrance, again, I do see it as a more, and let me just say, let me qualify this. It's not that you have to be 30 to graduate for this. It's more that where Aventus can be a very playful fragrance, and just, even a 16-year-old can pull it off, I find that here, this is someone who is just serious about life, has goals, and like actually my nephew who is 18, he is so disciplined, this man. He's, he has laser focus. He can pull this off. So he has this air of confidence, and just to look at him, he does jiu-jitsu, and the man's, he's an animal, he's a machine. So he can pull this off. So that's what I'm saying. There's a seriousness to this fragrance that there's no playfulness, unlike Aventus, which is very playful. I took a long time to explain that, but I do love this fragrance. I really, and I totally agree. The recommendation put forward, yes, please check out, if you haven't had a chance to have a look at Watch Portugal, I'd recommend it to you. Now, the next one also, Bap, I didn't write down who the person is, but Bap, here it is. They recommended a whole range of fragrances. The one that I want to pull out from that, you did mention HACIVAT, which I love. All right, here's the episode. Really love this fragrance. It's almost Aventus-like in that opening with the pineapple and, you know, those aromatic elements of it. But when it dries down, it goes into a very musty, damp, oak moss patchouli landscape. That is, in a way, it's kryptonite, because some people really don't like the way that it dries down. Sandra, my wife, is a classic example of that. She does not like HACIVAT on me at all. I've got a close friend of mine who also loves HACIVAT. His wife does not like HACIVAT on him at all. So let me introduce to you HACIVAT X. This is glorious, all capital letters. And where it takes those magic moments from the original, the pineapple, it does have patchouli, but it has removed certain parts of it. And one of the parts is that oak moss. So the oak moss is no longer in the base here. The patchouli has moved around. So where patchouli was in the base, alongside that oak moss on the original HACIVAT, it's now the patchouli is in, wrong. The patchouli was in the heart and the oak moss was in the base. And I think those two working together was really creating that strong dampiness to the fragrance, or that musty sort of sensation to it. Whereas now on HACIVAT X, the patchouli is being put into the base. You do get it, but not as pronounced. So it's not as distinct as in the OG. The other thing that's been added to here, which I love, because it gives it a juiciness on that opening, alongside that pineapple, there is an orange blossom note in the heart. And I feel that the juiciness of the fragrance, the playfulness, the funness of the fragrance has really been amplified and brought forward more into sunshine. I mentioned that Bois de Portugal is great for more of a serious man, or this one here. It almost grabs all those classic masculine notes, aromatic, woody, fresh, forest-like elements to it, and now wrapped it around more of a playful nature. So it's a lot more relaxed. This, anybody can wear. So if you love Aventus, for instance, then I would recommend to you HACIVAT X. I also believe that a woman could wear this too. So this is something that when it dries down, it moves a little bit away from that aromatic nature of the fragrance, and it does go more into more woods, and that patchouli is definitely playing along within the fragrance a lot more. Give me 1 second. I have this on skin today. And the earlier fruit notes, the pineapple, the orange blossom, are still there. They've been pared back a little bit. And you are getting more of that, the woody patchouli-ness of it. But again, as I mentioned, not too much, because this is a fragrance. I was in Adelaide. I took this with me. It was a beautiful sunny day. We decided to go out towards the beach. There's an area there called Glenelg, and it's glorious esplanade, and it was just fantastic. Sunshine, beach, you know, waves crashing, blah, blah. I was wearing this, and from Sandra, 2 or 3 times, she's like, I really like that fragrance. That is a beautiful fragrance. I had a collection of fragrances that I took with me. She didn't know which one I had. I know that sometimes if I were to say HACIVAT, she's like, don't like it. Whereas in this case here, the scent profile, and there's been a few times when I'm wearing X that Sandra has responded in a favorable way. She does like it when I'm wearing this one. When it comes to its longevity and bones, you know, the presence, the fragrance is fantastic. Has, I don't know, 10, 12 plus hours without a problem. And as I mentioned, the projection, its sillage, its staying power is fantastic. One that I would recommend to everybody, because it's glorious. And yes, if you have, I'm actually going to do an episode, should be coming out this Sunday, talking about X. As I said, I do have HACIVAT, but I gravitate and reach for this more anyway, it's in the episode. You'll be able to see that. All right, next one. Boom, 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 boom. Good. All right, you know what? I'm gonna stop. My battery's about to die, and I'll reboot. I'm back. So the next one, boom, grazie for jumping into the conversation. Beautiful range of fragrances, but the one that I want to pick out of this is this absolutely beauty here, Pas de Soie Extrait. This is one that, actually, watch this episode. I went into a lot more detail. I actually compared the OG versus the extracts. One of the points that I made is that for me, the OG is classic feminine, and that's primarily because my wife has adopted it as her fragrance. When she wears it, it smells glorious. She's heavenly, it has a goddess-like feeling to it, just an incredible feminine-leaning fragrance to my nose. So when I got this for Sandra, I thought it was going to grab, I guess those key elements of the original and just amplify it, make her more beautiful than what she already is. Turns out that the patchouli in the base has been amplified, and as I mentioned earlier, Sandra has a radar for patchouli, does not enjoy it at all, and didn't like it. So if you look at that episode, I went into detail as how I discovered it. Truthfully, I felt sorry for this fragrance sitting on the shelf all by itself. I could see this tear emoji on its face, and I thought, come here, sweetheart, I'll spray you, I'll wear you. And I put it on, and instantly I'm like, whoa, I can do this. This one, there's something here, there's something different. On opening, you're getting more of a caramel vibe to it. There's this beautiful, so it has all the key notes in the original. So things like the jasmine, the orange blossom, the quince, but then it has these other things that have been added to it, like pear on that opening. I love pear in fragrance. It does also have more vanilla in the base, and also it has that patchouli that sort of has been strengthened and sort of pushed out a lot more. There is patchouli in the original, but I feel like in the extrait, the patchouli really comes forward a lot more. I've compared this to a patchouli gourmand fragrance. Is that what I wrote? Patchouli floral, sorry, a floral gourmand fragrance with a patchouli touch to it. So if you're uncomfortable wearing Pas de Soie as a man, then I would recommend to you, boys, then this is the fragrance for you guys to check out. We become a power couple. Sandra is wearing Pas de Soie with this beautiful gourmand-esque feeling to it, but it's very floral and it has this feminine touch to it. I'm wearing this baby here, and it's now got that more masculine sort of feel to it with the patchouli, but the caramel is in there, the vanilla is coming through. It's just magic. I'm trying to think, what else do I want to say other than avoid what I did, which is just because it has the name Pas de Soie, you think maybe it's a bit more feminine leaning. I would strongly, if you're a man, I would strongly recommend it. Now, from that video, there's been a lot of comments coming in also from females going, I love Pas de Soie Extrait. So as long as you like that patchouli-ness coming through, it is a lot more amber-esque, there's a lot more warmth to this fragrance, then I would strongly recommend to you, for me, I strongly recommend to you that fragrance. I know it came out in 2023. I only discovered it probably maybe 6 months ago. And for me, this is the best find that I've had in a long time, and which is a big call because there's so many beautiful fragrances that I've come across. But this is one that I go back to again and again. And even to the point, I sprayed it again on the card, and instantly I'm like, oh man, you are so beautiful. So this is one that is an easy reach. Great for cooler weather, great for if you're going through summer, as a summer evening, going out. It just has great projection, presence, longevity, and just gorgeous sillage. Massive, 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 massive recommendation. I even put here in exclamation mark, everybody needs to try this. So please, I'd recommend that one to you, and thank you for putting it as one of your fragrances in that lineup. Let me make sure that I haven't missed anything here. Boop, 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 boop. No, good. Now the next one, Bap. Now Cara, I have taken two from your list because there were two that really sort of popped out, and I think I want to do more. The first one, I'm going to keep it short because I have been banging on about this. I've been going on, and I'm sure that most people are sick of me talking about Levant. But so Cara put it on as her best spring. What did she say? She runs make spring floral. So this is, yes, it's It's a bright, sunny day. There is, and I did make the comment recently in the Discovery series that I did that it is sunshine in a bottle. The moment you spray, there's this, it seems to illuminate, you know? It's almost like, anyone seen the Purple Rose of Cairo, the Woody Allen movie where, you know, black and white, but then things become in color, or even Pleasantville where things become in color. This is exactly the way this fragrance, I feel, operates. You know, it sprays and you just feel a sense of sunshine. I know that Cara put it down as her favorite spring, but this is great for winter. I mean, we've come through winter here in Melbourne, and this baby here is gorgeous. Now, one thing that broke my heart. So I had this comment come through. We've been in contact with this gentleman, and he put forward this idea. And when I read this, I'm like, clearly I'm not communicating effectively. I'm not sharing properly what we're doing. The idea was, what if I did a Discovery Series concept where people have the chance to use a discount code, buy the Discovery set, and then follow me as we, you know, explore fragrances together. We've done this. So for those who might not be aware, that I have a whole playlist. You can jump on the NFC channel. You'll see there's a playlist called the Perfume Discovery Series. The idea behind is exactly what this email was putting forward as a concept. And that is, you have an opportunity to discover fragrances alongside me. I do talk to the screen. The only difference from that email to what I actually do is that it's not a private thing. So anybody can watch this episode. So, you know, you don't have to have a Discovery set to enjoy it. You can just, it's just like a normal review. But the idea is that we can now, so rather than being in black and white, you can now be in full color as you smell alongside me. Now, I did do it with the Levant and Ormond Jane's, and I did do it with this particular box set here, which is this is the Atmospheric, Floral, and Fruity. There are 12 fragrances. I did create 2 episodes, and you have a chance to get a 10% discount. All you got to do is use this code right here. Jump on the Ormond Jane website. The delivery cost is very fair anywhere around the world. And then you can loop to these 2 productions here and watch alongside me as I break down. I do like, it is a playful way of discovering fragrance, meaning that it's more than just smells like beep, bop, boop. You know, it has, I don't know, rose on the opening. Yes, I do, you know, to unbox that, but I also like to ask questions, and it's about smelling and then sort of working or taking you on the journey. That's the intention behind it. So yes, and I did respond to this gentleman here and just mentioned that, yep, this is definitely available. This is something that I have done. So if you're not aware of it, the Perfect Discovery Series is a great way to uncover new fragrances and smell with me, because there's nothing more, I guess, frustrating here if I'm telling you HACIVAT X Extrait is the actual, you know, this most glorious fragrance out there. This way you can sit down, spray, smell, and enjoy alongside me. Boom. All right, so that one there, Levant, absolutely. I'm not going to say much more other than watch this episode, or go to the Discovery Series and also watch it there, or the next step is actually get a Discovery set and experience it alongside me. Boom. Now, Cara put forward, and this is this is why, hang on, let me just clear this bug. Have a look at this amazing man here. Because Cara put forward MEO FUSCIUNI, I had to bring up SOGNI. So Cara, I completely agree, and I love the category you put it under, which is unexpected and delightful. I think sometimes what happens is if you look at MEO, he looks imposing. He has a presence. He absolutely has a presence, but he is the softest, the most gentle man. He really is. He's very poetic in the way that he talks. He's very poetic in the way he creates fragrances. Let me just show you this. So this is a mock-up of the brochure that we're just about to print. This is the 9-day luxury tour for KM that we are about to kick off in about 5 weeks time. And one of the people that we're visiting in his hometown of Sarzana, and the new temple that he's created is MEO FUSCIUNI. And you can look, and if you look at this picture, I was showing this image to the brochure to my dad, you know, it's always, no matter how old you are as a son, you always want to go to your dad and look what I did. And it's always nice when dads are like, good job, son, and you're like, thanks, Dad. You know. So anyway, I was showing Dad the brochure. He was super happy, impressed with the amount of work that this has been. But anyway, he came to this picture here, and he's like, what's he like? Because he looks scary. And I'm like, he's the nicest man you are ever likely to meet. He is, as I mentioned, he's a poet. He is an artist. For him, artistry comes first before the you know, and actually in his own words, he does not look at what the market is doing. If vanilla is popular, he's like, cool, that's nice. If I can't see how I can use it, I'm not going to do it. Have a look at this episode here where we talked about Violet, another incredible fragrance and one that I would recommend to you guys. And he talks about that very point, that he has to first move where his heart takes him. And I just love him as an artist, and I love him as a perfumer. Now, the one that Cara put forward is this incredible fragrance here. And again, I go back, unexpected and delightful. Sogni is a fragrance that will take you by surprise, because you look at MEO FUSCIUNI, you may have smelt some of his earlier pieces, which are very robust, very commanding fragrances, whereas here, it's really, I mean, the classic nature of it is that it dries down to a very dry, woody fragrance. And so it takes you by surprise, because you're expecting, I don't know, some animalic notes, some oud and some spices and some vetivers that are really strong and potent, whereas here everything is very subdued and gentle. It's his homage to Japan. He loves all things Japanese. He has visited many times, and he wanted to create something that paid respect and paid homage, to that country. Sogni means dream, and it's where when he goes to dream, he goes to Japan, and that's the essence of Sogni. It's about him returning to the place where his soul resides, where he is happy and where he finds peace. Actually, stop. I was going to tell you more. I'm going to stay on Sogni. What I love about this is the opening of the fragrance instantly captivates you and transports you to a location. There is this nutty rice note that opens up. There is a hay-like tatami mat that also produces itself. And all these pieces begin to unfold very slowly. It captures you very quickly. Now, I've shown this fragrance to 5 people. And so in that category of unexpected and delightful, they have done exactly the same thing. On first spray, they're like, oh, and then you can see them, their mind. A few of them have actually traveled to Japan, and they're like, oh wow, this takes me to Japan. So MEO has captured the essence. Somehow he's managed to grab this place and communicate it in an olfactive way. The reason why I know that all 5 of and just those 5 people, I've had 100% strike rate, and the reason why is because they then send me down the track. These individuals have sent me a bottle of them holding. Guess what I got? You know, so it's a fragrance that does surprise you. It is a fragrance that is good for your soul. There's a sense of grounding to it. I do find that this is more of a cooler weather style fragrance. In summer, it doesn't work as well. I think I tried it once and it didn't quite, because of that dry sandalwood or that dry woodiness at the end of it, it didn't have the vibrance that I wanted in a summer landscape. Whereas in spring or in winter, especially in autumn, just pure magic, just really, really glorious. So massive recommendation. I think I've said more than enough. You get the gist. It's a really good fragrance, and I'd strongly recommend it to you. And thank you, Cara. Yes, I totally agree. This is one that should go on the list of fragrances to win awards. All right, next one is, I'm looking at my time. This is the monster. This is the one that got vote after vote. So of all the people that put in comments, this one here like pinged more than once. I think it was like 5 different times. And this is Maison Francis Cujon's Oud Satin Mood, and I have to agree. I've spoken about this fragrance multiple times. I did this lineup here. This is one similar to Pas Ce Soir Extrait or even HACIVAT X. This is, oh, actually, I just realized, and Levant, and SOGNI, and actually, Bois de Portugal. I mean, that's more of a select few, but all those other ones, including this one, I feel like this could be a minimum. So if you had to take a number of fragrances on a desert island, for me, these ones here would be the ones that I would take with me. The magic of this fragrance is that it balances the three core notes, the three core things that really produce itself and continue to move backwards and forward in such a delicate way, and they do come forward and come back, and it's not like a normal evolution where boop, this happens and then boop, that happens. And here you're finding that these are constantly dancing and battling for dominance in a way. One is the oud. Now the oud is gentle, it's subdued, touch animalic, so you can detect that it is an oud that's in the fragrance. My understanding is, and from the website of KURKDJIAN, it does say that it's Laotian oud. So the oud has this beautiful way of coming in, coming out. It's not pronounced, but it's present. The next thing is the Damascus rose that's in the fragrance. You can detect this gorgeous rose, and it comes in, it comes out, has this beautiful rosy touch to it. And then the last part is the vanilla that's in the actual fragrance. Now there are two parts to the vanilla. Part one is that the website does state that it has a vanilla amber accord. And so for those who understand, amber is a constructed note. It's not something that you derive from nature. And in that amber already has, in some cases, some vanilla in here. What KURKDJIAN has done is that he's added a vanilla amber. So he's amplified, I guess, the warmth of the amber note without making it overtly gourmand. So there is a caramel touch, but it never feels like a gourmand fragrance. The other thing that's in here is benzoin. I've had a chance to smell benzoin in nature or in real life, and it has just a gorgeous, to the point you want to pop, because they're actually little crystals. You want to pop it in your mouth, thinking that it's like a candy, like a lolly. It has this beautiful vanilla but warm ambery touch to the fragrance, and I feel that here it comes through so beautifully, just so delicate and enveloping and wondrous when it comes to its scent profile. This is a scent, a projection monster. This is a compliment monster, actually, on that. I recently did this episode with Daniel. We talked about Naxos and Zafiro. I talked about Zafiro. Dan's episode was on Naxos. I read through the comments in Dan's episode, and there was one comment that came through that was, now in regards to your guest. So when I read that, I'm like, uh-oh, I'm about to cop it here. And the comment was basically, I don't get into asking for compliments. And unfortunately for me, now it could be my vanity, all right? So not that I go around going, hey, do you like my fragrance? So I'm not soliciting for compliments. However, I wear a fragrance. Obviously I wear it for me, but I also wear it because I want to communicate something to the world. That's how I think. This is me for the day. And can you detect my fragrance? And I guess, again, it's the touch of vanity that might be in there, but it's also my culture. And this is the thing, because I get that some cultures, for instance, Daniel does not necessarily delve, and when we've had conversations together, he doesn't really delve into seeking for compliments. He's a man who's based in Switzerland. My understanding of the Swiss is that they tend to be a lot more like, you do you, I'll do me. Well, not do me, but let's not cross over too much. My background is Latino, and we are forever crossing over. We're forever sometimes overstepping, like family and friends sometimes say things that like, really, you're gonna say that to me? Like, you're looking fat today. And like, whoa, I'm trying to diet here. So my culture, my background is that, yeah, if you smell good, you look good, if there's something about you that is, then you say it. Like I said, the opposite is also true. If you're not looking the best, like, you should put on something that doesn't work on you. That color is no good, And it's not said in a spiteful way. It's just like, it's what it is, baby. So yeah, I go back to here. I love wearing this because I know that people are gonna go, man, you smell good. And it's happened multiple times, not just once. I wear Oud Satin Mood. I use it as my statement maker when I go to an event or something special, a wedding. There was an awards night. I wore this baby. I wore it recently again. I think I went dancing. Anyway, whenever I wear it, I'm always getting, man, you smell good. What is that? All right. So this is a fragrance that definitely commands attention. It has presence. It has a wonderful aura, and it balances those three elements just beautifully. So if you're also, another point, if you're new to oud, I'd strongly recommend to you this fragrance here. Again, the oud is there. It's enough that you feel good about wearing an oud fragrance, but not too much where all of a sudden you feel like, you may have overstepped a mark. So hence why it was recommended multiple times on this lineup. Boom, there it is. Okay, love it. So there you have it. So if you wanted to see the 10 in 10, 9 fragrances that were voted for by Aussies across the country, this was the outcome, all the different categories. I asked people, actually, and I'll do it again, if you have others that you would like to add on the, what are some of your favorites that you would put as finalists in a lineup of best fragrances forever. For me, as I mentioned, this would be comfortably, if I had to pick fragrances to take on a deserted island, this would definitely be ones that I would want to grab. Except Bois de Portugal, it'd be way too hot on a deserted island wearing that, but all the others, no problems at all. I could comfortably wear those. You can win this discovery set. All you got to do is use the code NFC 10 in 10, buy anything off the Libertine website, and you'll go into the draw. 10 people have a chance to win that. Boom. That's it. Thanks everyone. Hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget, I do have a discovery series. You can jump in, you can follow me, you can enjoy a 10% discount on not only the discovery set, but anything across those particular brands and their websites. And in a lot of cases, their delivery costs are very reasonable. There are some that are a lot more difficult. It's out of their control. That's Sandra. I'm gonna go. We'll see you guys all on the next Maté Talk. Bye everyone. Now I was wrapping it up.